Texans top 10 grudge matches of the 2024 season. And my goodness, there is a lot before the schedule drops. Let's go inside the locker room.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the locker room on YouTube. You know what it is. Let's get it. Hey. Locker room. Yeah, we in the locker room. Texas talk. Yeah.
When the team's not relevant, the rivalries go away. One of the things that makes football so great is rivalries. They have returned here in Houston, and there are 10 that I want to focus on in anticipation of the schedule release for the Houston Texans. Top 10 grudge matches of the 2024 season for the Houston Texans. Now, grudge matches can be individual matchups. They can be team matchups. They can be coaching matchups. There's all types of possibilities, and we'll cover all of that ground in this edition of the locker room. Be sure to subscribe, like, ride along, comment if you think I've missed something or said something dumb, which has been known to happen. You can hear me Monday through Friday, 10 to 2 Central, Sports Radio 610, and the Odyssey app. We start with number 10, Texans versus Ravens. Ravens started your season off with a whooping, ended your season with a whooping, and usually there would be a little bit more remorse, a little bit more angst. You'd mark the calendar for that matchup, but really just seems like a no harm, no foul. Felt like the Texans went further than many had expected. Baltimore, despite the fact they won that playoff game against the Texans, really same old when it comes to the Lamar Jackson era. And I love Lamar Jackson, but same old when they kind of wet the bed against the Chiefs. So maybe this says a little bit about the Ravens being taken for granted and just not being as exciting of a football team, or maybe it just says a lot about the grudge matches the Texans have. Grudge match number 9, Stefon Diggs, new Houston Texan versus Sauce Gardner. You're going to hear Stefon Diggs' name a few times. At one point, they've suplexed. There's been a suplex of Sauce to Diggs. Diggs has burned Sauce. And then Diggs' nephew, the son of Trevon Diggs, Aiden Diggs, actually confronted Sauce at the Pro Bowl on behalf of his uncle.
What's good, man? How you doing, man? I see you. Who your uncle? Who your uncle? When I talk trash about
And look what happened.
what?
He scored on you that week 1 game.
I don't remember that, but hey, if you say he did, he did.
This man done went to week 1, man.
Hey,
Went to week 1, so.
your uncle good at football, man. Yeah. Hey, no, this the thing. He gonna dap me up first and then say that though. So do you mess with me or you don't mess with me?
I mess with you and
You don't? So it's a little bit of both?
yeah.
Okay. That's cool.
That's number 9. You got to think Aiden Diggs will make another cameo a little bit later on in this countdown. Number 8, CJ versus the Pups. Caleb Williams and Drake May. Now, you look at CJ Stroud, you look at the quarterback matchups, you see you got Patrick Mahomes on the schedule, you see you got Lamar Jackson on the schedule, a lot of quarterbacks that he looks up to. But when you have a historic rookie season like CJ Stroud did, you're kind of the guy that the next guys in line look to beat. And that's kind of that's kind of where you're at. So he's kind of on the same pedestal early on as we put some of the other guys. So Caleb Williams, who has a nice squad around him in Chicago, especially for a number 1 overall pick, and Drake May, those are intriguing matchups. Notice I left out one of the rookie quarterbacks that the Texans could be facing, and there's a definite reason for that maybe you're not thinking about. Grudge match number 7, D'Amico Ryans and Bobby Slowick versus Mike McDaniel. Mike McDaniel, once upon a time, coached with these two in San Francisco. They all worked under Kyle Shanahan. They're all really good buddies. I actually got to talk to Mike McDaniel last year when the Texans practiced against the Dolphins, and I had him play a little F, Marry, Kill when it came to Kubiak, Bobby, and D'Amico. Here was Mike McDaniel's answer on that.
The Slowick family is near and dear to my heart. Ryan is a outside linebacker coach. He was part of the Denver staff when I first year as an intern. Then got the chance to work with Bobby Slowick in Washington, where he started he started like we all do, the ground floor, and worked his way up to work with the outside linebackers, and then got a chance to work with him again in San Francisco, and then was part of the crew with myself and Coach Shanahan and LaFleur, training him when he came to offense. So I get to red pen his run drawings, which he probably loves me for.
Daniel's a fool.
And by love, he does not like that at all. They were always late night, in red and aggressive with exclamation points. But he's a true coach, a true student of the game. I think it's incredibly advantageous that he spent time working on the opposite side of the ball. That really helps shape your mind and how to be an offensive coordinator. And I'm excited to see what SPF he's wearing out in the season.
Gotta be high.
Yeah.
So
it'll be 75 plus.
You can't say F. Mary Kill anymore, but hang out with, ghost, and go on vacation. D'Amico, Kubiak, and Slowick.
Ghost and Slowick because he would get over it the quickest. What were the two other options?
Vacation with and just a one night hangout. D'Amico and Kubiak.
Two elite guys to hang out with. Pick your poison on either one because I think there's merit to both. I'd probably just have them both to dinner and then vacation with them both and not answer your question concretely.
All right, there you go. That's Mike McDaniel. It is awesome when you hear him talk about Slowick and D'Amico, and that'll be the first time that they're going against each other in a game in their current roles. Number 6, grudge match, Texans versus Colts. The Colts were a drop pass away last year from ending the Texans season. They get their quarterback back. You have the Adonai Mitchell factor. He probably feels like the Texans passed on him. Colts kind of getting slept on a little bit in the division. I think they're 3.5 to 1 to win the AFC South, which I actually think is really, really good value. So that's number 6. Number 5, Stefon Diggs versus the Bills. Obvious reasons. The weird, bizarre start of the year last year. The reports about turmoil and all that type of stuff. That is going to be a really, really interesting, hyped up matchup for a number of reasons. How early in the season it happens will be interesting. Got to think that's a potential primetime game. Number 4, Texans versus Titans. Hannah McNair kind of added some fuel to this fire when she was on In the Loop, Sports Radio 610, which you can hear me on and see me on 10 to 2 Central, Sports Radio 610 Odyssey app, and on YouTube. This was her kind of adding some fuel to the fire. And I might have thrown her a little alley-oop with the line of questioning.
Are you ready to play the Titans again? I know you kind of enjoyed that sweep last year. You got that marked on the calendar? Is that
what's so funny is I was seeing some articles about Hannah salty about them wearing the uniforms. Who started that? Who started it? Wearing it against us, and then if anybody was at that game, their in-house PA was instigating it. It was unbelievable, but also wonderful because we finished the story. Okay,
yeah, exactly.
So,
she went.
I mean, who's salty here?
Yeah, that's what I don't get. I kind of like that. Is that going to be something that maybe we get a little bit of healthy rivalry where
rivalry is good for the league.
It's here,
right?
Yeah,
it's good.
For the Titans are the top rival. It seems like it kind of moves right now. Is that our top rival?
Well, first they need to beat us.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
so it's not a rivalry yet.
Oh.
That is some fuel to the fire right there, to say the very least. Hannah McNair. Grudge match number 4, Texans versus Titans. Number 3, CJ Stroud versus JJ McCarthy. Assuming that he's starting for the Vikings. Now, some people may say, JJ McCarthy, what? Michigan versus Ohio State. Perhaps one of the tougher losses of CJ Stroud's career. Now, I know we all remember the Georgia game, but as a Ohio State Buckeye, you want to beat the Michigan Wolverines. JJ McCarthy got the best of CJ Stroud in his last matchup against him. I got to think CJ Stroud, being the competitor he is, and I want to ask him about this sometime during training camp. you got to think the side of JJ McCarthy or Jim Harbaugh or anything else like that. You might have some respect. It's got to make you a little bit sick. So that's kind of an under the radar one, and that's grudge match number 3. Grudge match number 2, Cows versus Texans, Diggs versus Diggs. Stefon Diggs versus Trevon Diggs. And number 1 connected to this, CJ Stroud versus Micah Parsons. Here's a little snippet of them going back and forth along with Stefon Diggs on this rivalry.
Who would you say is the best team in Texas right now?
We trying to create some beef. I like that. You know what it is? I mean, I feel like Micah knows who it is. I think. Steph knows who it is. You know, so. But no, like everything got to get figured out on the field. You know, like
I ain't even see no chemistry, and I ain't even get a snap. We the best team. What the hell? You feel me?
I ain't say that.
We're gonna figure it out.
Yeah, we're gonna like
figure it out.
like everything in life, man. Like there's a time and place. You know what I'm saying? Where you gonna figure it out. You gonna see what it's about.
And you know what it is. You know what it is. What is it? You know he faced some pretty good guys, but he ain't never see a killer though.
You sit on a couch with one.
All right, there you go. Mic drop from CJ Stroud with Micah Parsons. Of course, you're going to have the Diggs brothers. This one on Thanksgiving just seems to make the most sense. So to reset the top 10 grudge matches, Texans versus Ravens. They ended your season last year. Diggs versus Sauce with the nephew stepping in. CJ versus the Pups. Caleb and Drake. D'Amico and Bobby versus McDaniel, Texans versus Colts, Diggs versus Bills, Titans versus Texans, Stroud versus McCarthy, Cows versus Texans, and Stroud versus Parsons. Hell, you could add Stefon Diggs and Jair Alexander on there. They got beef as well. So many grudge matches, so many options. What a time to be alive. What a time to cover this team. What a time to speak to you. Appreciate you for coming through. Be sure to subscribe, like, right along. And always remember, when it comes to this Texans stuff, we're all in it together. What are your top grudge matches? Let me know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the Locker Room on YouTube. You know what it is. Let's get it. Hey. Locker Room. Yeah, we in the locker room. Texas talk. Yeah, you know what we about to do. Localize every angle's what we really do. We the source. We the pulse of the city too.